Cooper. Oh yes, Cooper. I knew that. Melanie. Okay. Grace. Grace. What? Landon.
And
Thank you.
Joey and Sophia.
Sophia.
Yeah. And Ellen.
Joey. Oh, I didn't remember there was a Joey. I can't remember Joey's name at all. Help me. Isaiah. Thank you, Isaiah. Help me. Aiden. Aiden, I talked to you yesterday and I forgot your name today. I'm sorry. Laura. Nora. Oh my goodness, and Nora too. And I have a Nora at my church, and you think I could remember that because of the Nora at my church. Boy, you just have much lighter hair than my Nora. She's only 2, and she has very dark hair. Okay, I think we got everybody then. Good. Okay, boys and girls, do you remember this story from last week? Who can remember the title? Sophie. Stella Luna. Who can tell me some things they've learned about Stella Luna really quickly? Kira.
She hangs upside down.
She hangs upside down. Camden. Calden. Which likes to fly? Who likes to fly? Stella Luna likes to fly. Grace?
They fly in the dark.
Fly in the dark, yes. Nora?
They land upside down.
You guys know a lot about Stella Luna. Very good, Solomon.
They see in the dark.
They see in the dark. Bats see in the dark. Joey.
Aiden.
Aiden. Joey. Aiden.
He flies in the nest.
Stella Luna did. That was pretty silly,
And
wasn't it?
swallow the bug.
Mm-hmm. Cooper.
Fruit.
Stella Luna eats fruit. Very good. Boys and girls, you know so much about this story already. I was thinking I was going to read pieces of this to you, and I still might. But what I'm thinking I'd really like to do today is talk about how are birds and bats different? How are they different? And so, when we're talking about that today, we're going to make a chart of how they're different. And there's a letter that I know you know. So I'm going to start by putting this letter right up here. Great big letter. Tell me as soon as you know it, what's that letter?
T.
And you know what we call this? We call it a T chart. Is that funny? Because it's a T. And on one side of the T chart, I'm going to have information about bats. And on the other side of the T chart, I'm going to have information about, can you guess?
Birds.
Birds. Look at how smart you are. You are very smart. About bats and about birds. Now, you told me some things you remembered about Stella Luna, and Stella Luna had a lot of information about bats and about birds. See if you can tell me one thing, and then tell me, oh, my tea got crooked. I'm sorry about that. I didn't realize that when I was up there. Tell me which side it should go on, bats or birds. Tell me one thing about bats or about birds that you know. Sophia, I'll let you start us off. There are fruit bats. That's one kind of bat. What do fruit bats eat? Fruit. Yeah. So some bats eat fruit. So we can say, eat fruit. And now to help us, I'm sorry, Mrs. Wetchinsky, I'm going to need a scissors. Thank you. To help us, because sometimes when we're in kindergarten, it's hard to remember what the words say. I found some pictures that would help us to remember exactly what that says. So we know that bats eat fruit. What do we know about birds? Okay, bye. What do we know about birds? Bats eat fruit, and Chloe? Kevin also needs something to adhere it with. Didn't think of that. Yeah. Birds lay eggs, but can you tell me about what birds eat? You're right, they lay eggs, but you know what they eat so we can have the same? Sometimes they eat worms. And in, thank you. And in Stella Luna, what did they eat in Stella Luna?
Insects.
Insects. They did. They eat worms and they eat insects. So here's a picture with a bat with the fruit that they eat. And birds eat worms and insects. But do you know something else? Oops, I better write insects. Did you know that some bats eat insects too? bats can eat up to 600 mosquitoes in an hour. 600! That's a lot of mosquitoes, isn't it? Okay, birds eat insects. Let me see if I can find that picture that I have that will help you. Here we go. Just so we know that we're talking about what they eat. Cut that out really quickly. I'm gonna have to draw a worm on there. Do you think I can draw a worm?
Yeah.
Well, you have great confidence in me. One of Mrs. Antel's skills is really not drawing, but I think a worm is not too hard. I think I can draw a worm. What do you think?
Is that a picture of a worm?
I don't know. What do you think? Does it look like a worm?
It looks like a snake.
Well, worms kind of look like snakes. Kind of.
That is a worm.
Now, Chloe shared something else with us. Who can remember what else Chloe told us about birds? Melanie.
They eat insects.
They eat insects. Yep. Birds eat worms and insects. What else do we know about birds? Solomon, what do you know about birds? They can fly. When do birds fly? When do they fly, Joey?
In the morning.
Yeah, they fly in the daytime or in the morning. They
Right.
fly in the morning. They sure do, don't they? They fly in the morning. And you know what? I have a picture of a beautiful bird that's flying here. Katie, maybe I will cut this out. So it's faster. I've done that ahead of time. Now, how can you tell from my picture that this is morning? Can I put it up here? How can you tell that's flying in the morning? Upside down. How can you tell it's flying in the morning? Where haven't I heard from in a while? Kira.
Is the bird flying at morning?
And look at the sky. What color is the sky?
Blue.
Blue. Is the sky blue at nighttime? Mm-hmm. When do bats fly? Land in. Bats fly at night. You are correct. Oops. Sorry about that. Bats fly at night. And I know Mrs. Wachynski has a picture for us over there that we will add when we get that far. What else do you know about the difference between birds and bats? Tell me something else. See, who haven't I heard from in a little while here? How about Ricky? What do you know about birds or bats? Thank you, Sarah. What else do you know about birds? Where do they sleep, Ricky? In a tree. What's in that tree that they sleep in? Yeah. Birds sleep in a nest, don't they? Yeah. Do bats sleep in a nest?
No.
They don't. So birds sleep in a nest. Still, Luna was sleeping in a nest for a little while, wasn't she?
Yeah.
I don't. Thank you. I'm like, I thought I had a different one. That was funny. Here we have some birds sleeping in a nest. What do you know about bats and how they sleep? How do bats sleep? Grace.
Upside down.
Bats sleep upside down. And when do they sleep?
In the night.
Whoops. In the wrong color.
In the day.
Bats sleep upside down during the day. You guys know a lot about bats and about birds. Let's see. Are you ready for a creepy picture? This is a picture of bats sleeping upside down during the day. Look at all the bats in that tree. That's a lot of bats, isn't it? Wow. I think I would call that a bat tree.
Me too.
Well, here's some friends we were missing. glad you're here. Boys and girls who just came, we're talking about how bats and birds are different. We said that bats eat fruit, that bats fly at night, that bats sleep upside down during the day, and we said that birds eat worms and insects. They fly in the morning, and birds sleep in a nest. Now, your challenge is to be thinking, what else do you know about birds and bats that we haven't talked about yet? Cooper has something to share. Birds sleep in a nest, and bats sleep upside down. You are right. Chloe, you have something to add? Birds lay eggs. They do. And someone told me last time that birds were hatched from eggs. That's the same thing, isn't it? They lay eggs and they're hatched from eggs. So birds, how would you like to say that? Would you like to say birds lay eggs or birds are hatched from eggs? Which one, Chloe? You decided. It was your story. Birds lay eggs. Birds lay eggs. The picture that I chose for that, you might have to walk up here to look at this later, but you can see there's a little blue egg there, and those are itty bitty tiny birds. I know this picture's really little, but it'll be up here so you can look at it later. Those are baby birds.
I could see them.
Yeah. Baby birds, when they're born, they don't really have feathers yet. They're almost like skin, or a little bit of fur kind of on their bodies. So we'll put this here so you can see what a baby bird looks like. What about a baby bat? How's a baby bat born? What do you know about baby bats and how they're born? Ricky? No, that's not Ricky. It's Yiling, thank you. What do you know about baby bats and how they're born? I'm sorry? Are baby bats born from eggs or are they born alive? Yeah, they're born alive, aren't they? Yeah. Bats are born alive because they're mammals. Remember we talked about that they are mammals last time? Bats are born alive. You notice that every time I write a sentence, I'm putting a period at the end. Did you notice that? Mm-hmm. That's really important, isn't it? I have two pictures of baby bats. I chose two different ones because, that one later. I chose two different ones because one was on a person's finger, so you can tell that the person is taking care of it. That would be like at a zoo. And this one, because it shows you how many baby bats might be born at a time. These are baby bats and they're on a leaf. Look at how tiny they are. Really little, aren't they? But baby bats are born alive. Are you born alive or hatched from an egg? You are, because you are a mammal, right?
Yeah.
Because you are a mammal. So we'll put both these baby bats pictures up here for you. Just like baby bats, you are a mammal. Tell me about what's on the outside of a bird compared to what's on the outside of a bat. How are they different? Ooh, Ricky, you're thinking. What does a bird have? A bird has eggs. They do have eggs. What does a bird have on the outside of their body? They live in a nest. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Aiden. They hatch from an egg, but what's on the outside of their body, Nora? Birds have feathers, don't they? Did you ever pick up a bird feather?
Yeah.
Did you ever use a bird feather to tickle someone?
Yeah.
Do you notice how light the bird feathers are? Yeah. They're hollow. They have little air space in them, so that it makes it really easy for the birds to fly. So birds have feathers. That makes them different than bats. What do bats have on their skin? Let's look in the book. I'm going to help you with that one. Birds have feathers. Let me get this down here first. Oh. I can't write very neatly when I'm crooked like that. I have to turn my body. So birds have feathers. Let's put this picture of feathers up here first and get that up. You've seen feathers before?
Yeah.
I don't have any real feathers, right? They're put some in for you to see.
I got some real feathers on my pillows and
Oh, nice.
A lot just come out.
Do they?
Yeah, they crap out when I eat.
Let's take a look at Stella Luna for
Some
some
of
help.
them shipped out.
We can think about what's on the outside of a bat. Here's Stella Luna, and she's flying. This is actually Stella Luna's mommy, and she's flying through the air. She has this real thin skin on her wings, but look at what's on her body. Can you tell what's on her body? What would you call that, Sophia? She has a belly. Yeah, she has the baby is on her belly. But what's on her skin? What would you call that, Solomon?
Fur. Fur.
Yeah, bats have fur because all mammals have fur or hair on their skins. What do you have? Do you have fur or hair? Yeah, you have hair on your skin. But bats have fur, like dogs and cats, right? So bats have fur. Can you think of anything else that's different between bats and birds?
No.
Fur would be really hard to draw, wouldn't it? Fur.
Mouse.
Birds have mouths. They kind of have beaks, they do, but they both do kind of go, right? There's one other thing I really want you to notice. Remember when we talked about this picture in Stella Luna's? What was the author and the illustrator, what were they trying to teach us when they showed us this picture? Do you know? Can you just tell me your name again? Angel. There's the angel. I knew there was an angel in here. Just like an Angelina, right? Angel. Angel, do you remember what the author and illustrator were telling us on this page? She can see at night, can't she? She doesn't really have light coming out of her eyes, but she can see when she flies at night, right? Can birds see when they fly at night? Ah, they crash into things, right? Chloe, what did you want to share with us? She did. She was falling early in the story, that's right. There was something that was kind of silly that happened here too. If you remember when the mother bird said, "You babies are too big, you don't fit in this nest anymore," didn't she? Aiden, do you need some help, honey? Oh, you know what? We can wait with that. That's okay. Melanie, can you wait with that so that we can finish our story here, and then we'll tie his shoe after. We're going to help Aiden learn how to tie his shoe because he's going to need to learn that, right? Yeah. Thanks for helping, though. That's very kind of you. So, the mother bird said, "Out you go. It's time for you to fly." And the birds went off and they flew. And remember what happened when they were flying? They all came right to this branch, and they landed right on the branch. And remember what happened with Stella Luna? Flop, flop, flop. She couldn't land on the branch like that because she doesn't have feet for landing on branches. She has feet for hanging. Remember how that happened? So that would be a big difference between birds and bats, right? Because birds perch. They call that perching when a bird comes and sits on the branch. Remember we said how she swooped down and then she flopped all over the branch. She could not figure out how to get on. She needed to come from underneath like this to get on, right? Yeah. But the birds, they gently glided down and landed on the branch. Remember how we talked about that? So we know that birds perch. We call that perching. Can you make your hand perch? Make your hand a bird. Make it perch. Can you say that? Birds perch. Yeah, birds perch on a branch. So birds perch on branches, and bats hang from branches, don't they? Thank you very much, Cindy. Appreciate that. Oops. Bats hang from branches. Wow. You guys know a lot about birds and bats, don't you?
Duh.
Do you see all those things that you know?
Yeah.
Did you know you knew so much already about birds and bats? We'll add
bat on there. Whoops, we don't want to add the bird one on the bat side. Thank you. And we'll add the bat on this side. Now, boys and girls, what I want you to do today, we just talked about all different things about birds and bats and how birds and bats are different. I want you to choose one of these topics. What they eat, when they fly, how they sleep, how they're born, what's on their skin or on their body, and how they nest, or how they perch, I should say, how they perch. I want you to choose one of those topics to write about today. So this is what I'm going to do with you. We're going to set this aside. I'm just going to pull it right off of you. I can staple up here for now. Thank you. Grab a stapler quick. This is Wachinsky will put that up there for us. And we're going to choose one of these topics to write about. Now, this is going to be my story, so I'm going to write my story. I'm going to go back over there. This is just going to be hanging here so that you have it for later. But I think I'm going to write about what kinds of things a fruit bat likes to eat. Okay, so I'm going to do my writing over here because I want you to do some writing with me today. So we're going to really quickly write a story. And my story is going to be all about what bats like to eat. Because that's what I chose I wanted to write about, right? So how could I say that, do you think, what bats like to eat? Who could tell me how my story could go? What do you think, Sophia? Bats like to eat fruit. I think that's a perfect story. Watch, when I start my story, I'm going to start with a capital letter. And I know bats, I can write the word bats because it's written right up there on top of my T-chart. It says bats. Bats like. Now I have to leave space before I put my next word, right? We always leave spaces between our words. What letter would I start like with? What do you think?
L.
L, exactly. I'm going to write that whole word like. See the big space I'm going to leave? Like. Bats like. Time to reread. We always reread before we put our next word. Bats like to. Does anybody know how to write that word to already? Nora. T-O, that is that word too. Look at that. Do you see I left another big space between my words here? Can you see? Let's read it together and see if we can get to the next word. Bats like to eat. How's that going to start? E. Oh, it is. You're right. There's a sneaky letter in the middle of E, though. I'm just going to put it in there for you. Ready? Let's read it one more time. Bats like to eat fruit. They do. Fruit. Bats like to eat insects too, but I'm going to talk about the fruit bat. Bats like to eat fruit. So that's my story. Now, I'm going to, if I wanted to, I could draw a picture here that would say what my story is all about. So I could draw a picture of a bat, and I could put some fruit on there. See if there's an orange. I'm just going to draw an orange on here, because my bat really likes to eat nectarines. Because they're juicy, and they're really easy to pierce the skin on. So there's my nectarine. Now, the challenge is, I am not an illustrator, so I'm going to do my best to draw a bat eating a nectarine. I don't know. What do you think? There we go. There's my bat eating my nectarine. What do you think? Now, here's your job. You can turn this way. I want you to choose which one do you want to write about for yourself today. Tell me what you're going to write about. Is there paper ready for them to go?
Yes.
Okay. So, Chloe, tell me what you want to write about.
The bat is eating the fruit.
You're going to eat about a bat eating the fruit, and how are you going to say that? You're going to say that? The bat is eating the fruit? Perfect. You may go start your story right away. The bat is eating the fruit. She just said it's Melanie.
The bat
The bat
is
is hanging upside down. You may go start your story. Kira.
the bat is
The bat what? Or you want to talk about the bird?
the bird was
lays eggs. You may go start your story. And the bats fly. How much, okay, the bat is flying or bats fly. Okay, go write your story. Kate, Calvin. The bat is eating the food. Excellent, you may go start your story. Ricky. You want to think a little bit longer? Okay. Angel. The bat is eating the fruit. Okay, you may go write your story. Cooper.